Did you know over 60% of Americans believe that marijuana should be legalized? That is despite the war on drugs, where in 1990 only 16% of Americans felt it should be legal. So, for my credibility, I have not indulged myself with the use. I have been exposed to people that have used it, and my opinions have been formed from my experiences with them and from research that I have read on my own. So, decriminalization and further legalization of the use of marijuana would benefit Americans and improve statistics regarding crime, public health, and the justice system. With this issue being discussed, it is important to understand crime numbers can drop, public health and understanding of the drug can improve. One issue debated in reference to the legalization of marijuana is the realization of higher or lower crime. Luckily, 9 states have already legalized the drug, and research has been conducted, and we can take something from that. According to the article, Crime and Legalization of Recreational Marijuana, published in the Journal of Economic Behavior and Organization. In Washington, the expected result was a decrease in crime. That's what we saw. So, sexual violence, theft, and property crime all dropped 15 to 30%, 13 to 22%, and 10 to 20% respectively. The article also shows that the use of marijuana may have increased slightly and may have been a substitute for things like alcohol or harder drugs that may lead people down a path where they would commit more serious crimes. Now let's relate this to the justice system as a whole. So not surprisingly, legalization also affects the load of cases for the justice system. Low-level court filings for marijuana fell 98% in the state of Washington after a year of legality. That fact comes from Julian Morris's article, Does Legalizing Marijuana Reduce Crime? The article also indicates a reduction of 85% for cases brought against individuals who cultivated, distributed, or possessed marijuana in the first full year. Conclusions drawn from these facts would indicate that nonviolent individuals that do not commit other crimes are capable of recreationally using marijuana and still being a member of our society that is not detrimental. So also tangentially, with the legalization of marijuana, it is important to consider those past convictions that have labeled people as criminals or felons when they committed crimes that in the past were illegal but are now legal. According to Elena Rosen in her article, High Time for Criminal Justice Reform, a clear record allows people to vote, serve on a jury, travel abroad, finance their education, find gainful employment, and obtain government benefits. Those who legally can use now are able to enjoy all of those things without the potential ramifications of losing that for using marijuana. Living with the consequences in this scenario is unfair to people that lost their rights for a nonviolent crime that is now legal. For my second point, another topic that is heavily debated is the health aspect of marijuana. So there has been a lot of research here. In regards to legalization, I definitely suggest precaution and research into how marijuana could affect you personally with what you have in your life. One study noted that actually from the Journal of Drug and Alcohol Dependence, a group of 3 categories, medical only, non-medical only, and a class of both. They used those 3 groups to determine that medical marijuana is most beneficial to people who are in desperate need of it, so the medical cases, or the serious medical cases. So it warrants the use of common sense when using marijuana as it's legalized. Just because it's legal, people shouldn't just use it, but it should be legal. Legalizing marijuana will also require a more educated public as for the health risks. For example, from Michelle Palmer's work, marijuana use during pregnancy, she found a correlation between a higher chance of NICU births, low weight, and potential alteration of the psychological traits of the baby with use during pregnancy. So knowing risk is a very important part of legalizing anything. All this to say that even with growing support of marijuana legalization and a growing perception that marijuana is not harmful, it has not increased the percentage of young individuals that use marijuana. This was found and concluded from an article posted in the Drug and Alcohol Journal. They found that 12th graders' perception of marijuana being harmful as not harmful has increased 11%, while the same group of people has only increased their use 1% from 2016 to 2015. So, some results here. A more educated population on the drug and its societal or personal health benefits is needed. And by legalizing, we create less criminals that end up with fewer convictions and fewer long-term lasting effects for those individuals. A reduction in crime following legalization is beneficial for society in general. Less people going to jail for using a drug that isn't extremely harmful, and it also studies show that the number of users does not increase significantly when it is legalized. So decriminalization and the further legalization of the use of marijuana would benefit Americans and improve statistics regarding crime, public health, and the justice system. So of the 60% of Americans that believe it should be legalized, I hope I changed some opinions, and maybe you guys might be added to the 60%, and that might go up.